Hello my lovelies and welcome back to Sondering Tarot reading here. Hi, hello, and welcome. This will be your daily tarot reading for the 30th of June. We have finally reached the end of the month. We'll be using the Journey to Oz and Wonderland tarot for today's daily tarot reading again. That'll be listed in the description box down below. Anyway, let us begin. Alright, my lovelies, I have all your cards out on the table. We have 1 ace, 10 major arcanas, and we have a buttload of synchronicities on the table. We have 222, we have 444, 666, 777, and 888. So you could be seeing any of those combinations of numbers throughout the day. Keep an eye out for them. I would be surprised if you don't happen to see more than one. Anyway, let's get into the best part of your day, and we do have a lot of cards for this particular section, so bear with me. We have the Six of Cups, the Strength card, the World in the reverse, the Wheel of Fortune, the Queen of Cups in the reverse, the Eight of Swords. We have the Page of Swords in the reverse, the Tower in the reverse, the Eight of Wands in the reverse. Oh, and I am being corrected. We have 8888. There's 4 8s on the table. The Knight of Swords, the Four of Wands in the reverse, the Two of Pentacles, the Fool in the reverse, the Hangman, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Eight of Cups in the reverse. Okay. Alright. So despite best efforts, past best efforts, unfortunately, things being what they are, not working out, could have left you highly disappointed. Things are lacking. And that's not always a good place to be, let alone perceive yourself to be. Let's put it that way. Anytime there's some melodrama or anything like that, whether real or imagined, it gets us stuck. Let's face it, folks. And sometimes we really don't have the right idea. About how to change our circumstances. Like I said, things real or imagined. Sometimes all this is your perspective. You know, we think we're doing bad despite all the effort we give. You know, things don't work out. Things are moving slow. They'll never come. You know, despite whatever direction we're heading in, it's like somebody pulls the rug out from underneath our feet. Okay, that's a bad energy, but we can actually readdress that energy. That's the upside of today. Is any false starts, things that fell through, you know, all those things that, whether it's a relationship and somebody else is disappointed in it, and that brings conflict, you know, things not working out with work, having issues at home, you know, we actually get the idea of how to make this situation better. I love the fact that we got the Queen of Pentacles here. Queen of Pentacles is motherly, because this is my minor Empress card in the tarot. She's very nurturing. She's very, she does have the mothering side, but she's a queen. So whatever you give to her, she's going to make it better. So home, money, career. Yes. And therefore, getting the right idea of what we need to fix. We know what needs to go. Okay, so we have some transformation energy going on. And I find that interesting that that is also showing up on a day like today. Simply because yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, Saturn went retrograde. And that does tie into limiting beliefs or, limited opportunities. And sometimes that's not necessarily real. It's just something that we've imposed all on our own. In other words, it's more internal than external. It's not necessarily true that there is a quote-unquote lack of opportunity, but it's also a time to readdress karma and emotional baggage. If we perceive we failed or we're never going to get something, that's our own limiting belief that we are reinforcing by our emotions and what we're telling ourselves. So around and around we go. We have an opportunity to change that, to readdress that today, to actually put the shoe on the other foot. So yeah, transformation energy showing up. Kind of nice, but now we're going to tap into the worst part of our day. We have the Nine of Wands in the reverse. The Three of Cups in the reverse. And the Messenger. And this is an additional card in this deck. Yeah, you could literally ignore this epiphany. The idea, the information, the aha moment of, oh, so it doesn't have to be that way. It's actually not that way. I can fix this. I can do this or that. Or if I just don't do that, it'll all work itself out. Because you've got an overabundance of scattered energy, and I also kind of want to say scattered focus, that really isn't helping the situation. It's that emotional baggage, the turmoil, the beating yourself up that is also kind of showing up. You might be dictating the narrative so much that amongst all that chatter, all that emotional, roller coaster of going up and down, that you literally miss it. It's like not being able to hear the voice of reason for the sound of your own voice. And I know that's kind of a bad way to put it, but it's kind of like that. We've got poor boundaries. We're destabilized. We've got some emotional happenings going on, and it's causing a little bit of chaos. Like I said, a lot of this is going to probably be internal for most of you, not external. But it can be external. It can be, like I said, melodrama, coworkers, family, even maybe even interactions with a stranger may have you realizing at some point that perhaps you repeat a cycle when somebody says a certain thing to you, you being triggered. Like I said, this is a transformative energy. And it does tap into that Saturn going retrograde. So you're dealing with your own emotional issues. You're dealing with karmic issues all at the same time. So take that as that applies, please. It is a general reading. So please take what resonates and leave the rest. And for our obstacle, or how to get over our obstacle, we do have quite a few cards. So bear with me. We start off with the Queen of Swords in the reverse. The Five of Pentacles in the reverse. The Two of Swords, the High Priestess in the reverse. And then we have the Four of Cups, followed by the Four of Pentacles in the reverse, Justice in the reverse, the Seven of Cups in the reverse, the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse, Metamorphosis in the reverse. This is an additional card in this deck if you are not familiar with it. The Chariot, the Seven of Swords, the Six of Wands, and lastly, the Six of Pentacles in the reverse. Okay. And this is why I said probably this is internal rather than external. Things are not always not quite as bad as you perceive them to be. Like I said, you have that mental and emotional kind of confusion going on. It's really hard to hear the voice of reason when you've got a lot of emotional things going on, because even if you are a very logical person, if you get hit by an emotional response and you get stuck in a cycle, you get stuck in a loop, or your emotions override everything, it causes logical confusion. And it doesn't necessarily have to be all that bad when you look at it from a logical standpoint. But it's really hard to make choices when you are destabilized in that way. If you become emotionally compromised in some sort of fashion, or if you have such a conflict between your head and your heart that it's really hard to let go of the chaos, to be level-headed, to think and concentrate properly. Listening to your intuition, listening to your inner guidance, seeing the potential for any answers, solutions, outcomes is really difficult. That is the crux of your obstacle. It is the fact that that is really hard to come by. But if we take the time, despite all the chaos going on, we will discover what needs to go, what literally is not serving us. In other words, what do we cut out? What do we get rid of? Do we need to go in a new direction? Do we need to respond differently? Do we need to tell ourselves something differently? What's the variable? What's the factor that absolutely has to change? What needs to go? What do we release? What are we transforming, and how do we do it? Because once we start asking those questions, it's really hard for us to maintain the illusions about a circumstance that it isn't going our way. Why? Because we're starting to get to the heart of the matter. We're starting to get to the truth. We're starting to get to the bottom of things. And that helps us to realize what's been unchanging, and therefore we can change it. We're able to move forward. Why? Because we're not moving and operating in the same way. We're literally switching tactics. So when push comes to shove, our different responses needed. We're realizing that. We're realizing we can't stay where we are. We can't keep doing what we're doing. We can't respond the same way. We probably can't tell ourselves the same way. So changing something up is actually to our benefit. I always kind of look at, transformation energy like this as a science experiment. If you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, it's the definition of insanity. And in a scientific experiment, you have your control, and then you have multiple different things going on. And each time you either add or take something away, you tweak it until you find something that works. But guaranteed, you'll find something that doesn't work. And this is what we're trying to avoid. We're switching tactics. We're doing something that's going to cause change to succeed where others have failed and seem to take up too much of our time, energy, anything that has been dissatisfying. In a way, this is just a transformative moment that can lead to a breakthrough. For example, if we have some emotional baggage and we have something that constantly triggers us, and we get triggered today, and instead of giving in and responding poorly like we always do, we realize not only do we respond a certain way, we stop ourselves. We choose to respond differently. Or if we've realized it after the fact, we go back, we make our apologies, we make our peace, we have acceptance of what happened, and we realize that's a deeper issue and we have to get to the heart of the matter in order to permanently solve it. I'm trying not to pull extra cards on this. This is a general reading, but that's just an example. And in that case, when we are triggered, for my example, it's really hard when we're triggered because that's an emotional response. Sometimes it's automatic, and it's not usually the best one. Sometimes we have some pet peeves and we don't realize that people aren't doing things intentionally. But if we lash out and, start calling people names and all these kind of emotional responses or even violence, that is something that will automatically happen and prevent us from getting the truth, to realizing what aspect of that we can actually control enough to change, or what actually needs to change. So this is where that whole boundary issues, boundaries with yourself, are we thinking before we're speaking? Are we being kind and supportive to ourselves as well as others? Can be good things to become aware of. I didn't mean to chatter that much, but apparently somebody needs to hear that because it's coming up. So there you go. And I did have to pull your cards, by the way. Everything here adds up to 230, which I'll let me just do 5. 5 in numerology is change, freedom. We have transformative energy showing up. We have for some of you it's karma, some of you it's emotional baggage, some of you it's limiting beliefs, but we have the ability to free ourselves from that. We might have some burdens going on, and this is us releasing those, freeing ourselves from them. Like I said, transformative energy showing up, people. But aside from Mercury retrograde starting yesterday, we have the moon in Taurus, improve stability and security, and that's in your life overall over the next few days. Work on grounding yourself and being confident. And this also ties into that, feeling like you're never enough, never good enough, not putting in enough effort. We started off with that in the best part of our day, and how that had the possibility of changing. The moon in Taurus squares Pluto in Aquarius. There can be drama that calls your name. But if you can, stay out of it. Try to get to the heart of something, or make a small transformation. And that's very much what we see on the table. All right, my lovelies. If this resonated for you, by all means, give me a big thumbs up. Let me know. And if it doesn't, then that is totally fine. It's a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys later. Bye.